Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Focus on Hopkins County. I'm your host, Tim Thomas. We're certainly glad you've joined us for this very special edition of our program. Hey, we have an exciting event that is coming up on September the 12th in downtown Madisonville, still the best town on earth. And it will be the third annual?
Third annual, that's right.
Right, 9/11 Heroes Run. It is an exciting time. Over 5,000 people are expected or more to attend this big event, and we are glad to have with us the coordinator of the event as well as a young lady who is part of the leadership team. Ms. Kelly, glad to have you on Focus on Hopkins County.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you, and also Whitney, Wardrip, we're glad to have you as well, part of the leadership team.
Glad to be here.
Yes, this was your brainchild?
It wasn't my brainchild, I just brought it to Madisonville.
Brought it to Madisonville. Share with us how it has evolved and how it came into fruition.
Okay, the 9/11 Heroes Run started in Doylestown, Pennsylvania in 2007. And it's sponsored by the Travis Manion Foundation, who is, it's a foundation in honor of First Lieutenant Travis Manion, who was killed in Iraq in April of 2007. And his family created the foundation in his name. They started the 9/11 Heroes Run. It's grown into an international event, and Madisonville is one of approximately 50 locations worldwide hosting a race. So I had personally done one in Bowling Green in 2012, and I just thought it was something that could be done in Madisonville to bring the community together in honor of the same cause, and just got a team started, and now we're 3 years down the road and continue to grow. So we're hoping for good numbers this year.
So tell us how it has evolved number-wise from the first year up until now.
The first year we had 724 participants to register, which was, quadruple the number we expected. We were told 150 would be good for our first year, especially for a community our size. So we were really surprised to have 724 register. Last year we had 772 participants. This year our goal is 1,000 participants, and we'll have over 1,000 that are downtown for the opening ceremony and, to support the runners and walkers.
This must have been something that was laid on your heart to do.
It was. I had seen our community come together after Patrick Rudd was killed in action, and I just knew I could see our community coming behind something like this, that it supports our heroes and honors them, and it's been overwhelming in a good way, because I knew we could do it.
And you know how important it is for people to come together.
Right.
And for when a community comes together, that's where strength is. Where there's unity, there's strength.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing that on a constant basis. Our community come together in times of tragedy, in times of Mother Nature, disasters, this type of thing. And how good it is to be able to come together to raise funds and to support those who serve us.
Yes.
How does someone register for the run?
They can go online at 911heroesrun.com, and it's through the Travis Manion Foundation, so it's their national website. But what it'll do is bring up a map of the United States, and they just find Madisonville. We're the only race in Kentucky. We're actually the only race in maybe 400-mile radius.
Really?
Yeah, and so they can register online that way. And we actually have paper registration forms at the YMCA as well, if they would prefer to do it locally. Some people don't like to go online with credit card information, and we understand that, so they can register at the Y as well.
Wow. And the Y is located?
At 150 YMCA Drive. We're off of North Main Street.
When you talk about the run, being sponsors, getting involved, I'm sure it's picking up now?
It is picking up. We have, as far as participants, we have 354 who have registered so far. I don't know the number of sponsors off the top of my head, probably about 30.
Wonderful.
We have monetary sponsors as well as in-kind sponsors. I know we have more sponsors than we did last year, but we can always take more sponsors.
Yes.
Because all the money goes to a good cause. And we're also taking volunteers right now for race day, the day before at packet pickup as well as race day.
Whitney, tell us a little bit about the Patrick Rudd Project.
Sure. The Patrick Rudd Project was an idea that several of us on the race committee had a few years ago. It was, I guess the brainchild is a word that you used earlier. Kelly, myself, Bill Rudd, who is the father of Patrick,
Yes.
As well as Linda Thomas and Martha Phelps. The five of us got together and created the leadership team. And we were inspired by John 15:13 that says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend." And so with that Bible verse in our mind, we decided to create a foundation in Patrick's honor, to honor the fallen, to bridge the gap between the civilian world and the military world. Patrick was killed in action in October of 2008 in Iraq, and he was on his 8th deployment. And he had done 2 tours in Afghanistan and 5 previous in Iraq, and was on his 8th when he was killed in action. And he was the first soldier killed in action from Hopkins County. And as Kelly mentioned, the outpouring of support that the family received, the streets were lined for the funeral procession for Patrick. And so based on that and the wonderful life and the example that he led, we wanted to honor his memory in some way. And so we created the Patrick Rudd Project as a way to honor Patrick, and we really are surprised at how well the Patrick Rudd Project has taken off. Last year, one of our goals was to create Everyday Heroes mini grants, and so we gave out almost $16,000 in our first year to 10 very deserving first responding agencies here in Hopkins County. And they range from the fire department receiving some rehab equipment for cooling stations when the fire departments get very hot. When they're working a fire, they needed some cool down equipment for rehab. And then the police department wanted money for to attend police academy. So we have a lot of different needs that we were able to meet through the Patrick Rudd Project for first responding agencies who maybe there wasn't enough money in the budget to cover these items like flashlights and all different types of equipment that couldn't be put in the budget, but that we were able to meet the need of that organization that gives so selflessly back to their community. And this was a small way that we felt that we could give back to the organization. And so we have delivered the mini grant applications this year. We've received those back, and we should be making our decision by the end of November on who will be receiving the awards this year. We did have several more applications this year, which is good, but it really is a way for us to give back to Patrick. We also have, future goals that we have. We want to sponsor veterans and first responders when they enter races and that sort of thing, cover the cost of their registration fees. And then we also want to create a veterans resource system, because so many veterans, when they come home, they fall through the cracks and they have a hard time transitioning from military to civilian life, and we want to assist them and help them making that transition smooth and successful. So those are just a couple of the things that the Patrick Rudd Project is doing, and we're very, very grateful to Hopkins County and the generosity they've given us since the inception of this amazing program.
It's really been going well.
It is.
Yeah.
We're very, very proud of how well it's gone, and Kelly is very, very passionate at leading our group, and we both feel very strongly about the military, and I'm just very blessed that I was asked to be on the leadership committee and to help found this organization that I believe wholeheartedly in.
Sure, and the two have joined together.
Right.
And have formed a union, so to speak.
Right. The first year that we had the 9/11 Heroes Run, we raised money for the event, and we gave the money back to our local fire and police departments. And this past year, we were able to partner with the Patrick Rudd Project as another way to give back to our military families and to families of the fallen. And we're very proud to partner with the Travis Manion Foundation, because both men gave all.
Yes.
For their country, and Patrick Rudd Project is a local organization that is joining a national organization, and collectively we're making a difference. And that really is what it's all about for us.
Sure. And Kelly, in a real sense, when you really think about service and giving of service, those that are in the military, those that serve in law enforcement, in fire department areas, whether it's also emergency medical technicians, all of these people are really sacrificing.
Right.
And giving a service and of time and really putting their lives on the line.
Yeah.
So,
They service abroad through the military, and,
Right.
and military service at home too, but our first responders serve
Right.
in our community
Yes.
for us and protect us, and are willing to run into burning buildings or, whatever's asked of them.
Yes, yes. Reflect back now, ask both of you all this question, 9/11, a day that will live in infamy. When we think back to that morning, anyone that remembers it, how can you forget, knows where you
Right.
were when the first plane hit the World Trade Center, Tower 1. Where were you and what was your thoughts?
I was in college. I was at UK, and I actually was at work. I worked on campus, and it was at a recreation center, and we had, I think it was a little black and white TV actually, in the office, and a coworker came down the office and said, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. And we thought, we think in a small plane, got off course. And so we turned the TV on, and we actually saw the second plane hit live. And so I don't even remember my thoughts, other than you'd never seen anything like that, and you really didn't know what to think, other than you did feel like, you were being attacked, whether you were in New York or Kentucky or wherever. And that sticks with everybody that was alive at that time.
Yeah. Whitney?
Very similar to Kelly's story. I was teaching school, and the TV came on, and I thought, well, somebody just wasn't paying attention to the flight schedule, and hit the World Trade Center. And a very personal part of the story is my father was actually trapped in the Pentagon.
Wow.
When the plane hit the Pentagon. So the government shut down all lines of communication in D.C., and so it was almost 8 days before we heard if my father was alive or dead. So that was traumatic for my family. So I have a very deep connection to 9/11 because of my father and the heroic efforts that he made helping to save people at work. So it was, that part of it was heart-wrenching for me. And then I remember, several weeks later just being glued to the TV and just so emotional, and each story just tore me to pieces. And like you said, it's something that you'll just never forget. You'll always remember where you were, just like when the Challenger spaceship blew up. I remember exactly where everybody remembers where they were in very important moments in our history. And just to think, here we are 14 years later in small Madisonville, Kentucky. But
Doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Right, but we're in a way honoring the memory for the reasons that Travis and Patrick fought for our country and sacrificed was because of the efforts.
Yes.
And so we're in a way, it's coming full circle in a certain sense, in that we are giving back for people who fought because of what happened in 9/11. So it's very much the circle of life.
It is. And life is an endless circle.
Right.
With ups and downs and unbroken dreams, unending dreams.
Right.
How many are you expecting now for this fabulous run?
We would love to have 1,000 people to register this year. That would be a huge jump from the past 2 years, but we think it's doable. We're on track to where we were last year. We've done some extra things this year to try to get the word out. I think our opening ceremony will be very impactful. That's part of, that sets us aside from other races too. We have guests of honor. We have the national anthem performed. We'll have a bagpiper play. They typically play Amazing Grace. This year our guests of honor are an Army Master Sergeant who's actually traveling in from Puerto Rico is where he's stationed. And he'll come in the week before, or the week of the race, and do presentations in Hopkins County schools called Character Does Matter. And that's also a pillar of the Travis Manion Foundation, and one of the things the race supports. And then the other guest of honor coming in is Dusty Harrell, who is a former Army Ranger who served with Patrick. So our guest speakers this year are actually going to talk about Patrick and about Travis, and kind of, if people did not know them or know their stories, they will after the opening ceremony this year. So we're looking forward to that.
Right. And we're expecting thousands.
Hopefully over 1,000, yes.
Yeah, and spectators.
Yes,
as well.
Definitely.
I know that it has grown into the thousands of people lining the streets and being a part of this event.
And I honestly, I don't know if you know how many people line the streets. I'm typically in the background, so I don't see how many's on the street, but maybe close to 2,000 when you consider, you know, it's 3 miles that are lined with people, and families come out to support their runners and walkers, and just come out for the opening ceremony. Last time I checked, which was last week, we had people signed up from 6 different states so far. And I noticed one family is from California. I didn't get too into detail as far as who they were or why they're coming, but I thought that was interesting to see that.
Right.
So we have family members come in. We actually, in addition to Dusty, another ranger who is still a ranger that served with Patrick is coming in with his family, because they do have ties to our area, because Patrick's from here and they still stay in touch with his family and things like that.
How great it is to have also the mayor and county judge and local and elected officials involved in this and behind this big event.
Yeah. We really have the support of the whole community. You know, they set aside any political differences there may be, or, you know, anything like that. There's not, you know, there's really not a division at all. And I think that's the thing that sticks out, especially to the first responders, because sometimes they, you know, they hear things from all sides and things like that, but they see the people that come out to support them, and that's, you know, why they're coming out.
Well, we want to encourage the listening audience to take part in this, be a part of this event, to register.
Yes, definitely.
Register. and we're going to put on the screen, our executive communication guy here, good guy Gary Gates, is going to put all the information on the screen, and we'll encourage you on how to be a sponsor. To register for the run, be a sponsor.
Donate.
Yes. If there's numbers,
we'll accept it all.
I know that's right. If there's numbers that want to be called, what numbers can they reach?
The easiest to remember would be 821 YMCA.
Great.
And so that's where I am. I'll answer any questions about the race, how to register or how to donate, how you can help. We just want as many people involved, and not even just for the financial reasons, but the impact that it has on our first responders to see that on race night.
That's great. That's great. Again, be a part of this, be a part of the event, and enjoy what is going to take place. It's all about giving back.
Exactly.
And being a part of this great community. So we encourage you to do that. And Whitney, before we go, I know we have another big event that's coming up. Kiwanis Club is going to be honoring youth organizations.
Yes.
Once again. This will be the 3rd annual youth throughout Hopkins County, right?
Yes, Friday, September 25th, starting at 11:30. We're going to be honoring, and Kelly comes to that too, from the YMCA.
I wear all kinds of hats.
But we'll be honoring organizations in our community that help youth of our community, because in Kiwanis we serve the children of the world, and this is a way for us to thank people in our community for all that they do for the children in Hopkins County. And our special guest speaker that day will be Lieutenant Governor Crit Llewellyn, and she will be talking to us about things that are going on in the state. And but it's time for us to really thank the people in our community who so selflessly give to the kids.
That's right. That's right.
If I can go back to the Heroes Run, Kelly, I want to sing her praises because she doesn't get it often enough. But she really is our fearless leader, and she is so very passionate. I've always been an extremely passionate person about the military, and it's so good to have a very dear friend who believes in the military as much as I do, and thanking them for everything they do for us. And we rival places like Houston, Texas, with the fantastic runs that we're having, the numbers, the money generated. So the Travis Manion Foundation really has been astounded by how well Little Madisonville, Kentucky has done with this race. And it's all a team effort, and everybody works very well and very hard together to make this happen. But I do want to thank Kelly from the bottom of my heart for all that she does to make this event so extremely successful. Not only for the Travis Manion 9/11 Heroes Run, but also for the Patrick Rudd Project. So just want to thank my dear friend for all she does.
Thank you, Kelly. We love you. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
We hope you've enjoyed the program, Focus on Hopkins County. And as we close out, we will reflect back on last year's run, and we will reflect back on 9/11, those that we lost, and remember them as well. John Kennedy once said that the price of freedom is high, but Americans have always paid that bill. And that still remains true today. I'm your host, Tim Thomas. Keep sharing the dream.